Tonight, shots fired at a hotel surrounded by San Antonio police. We begin tonight with breaking news. Officers say that they shot a man multiple times.
Yeah, that man is in the hospital right now. Our John Paul Barajas on the scene. It's near Culebra and Williams Avenue. That's just west of downtown. John Paul, you spoke with Police Chief William McManus just about 10 minutes ago. What did he say led up to all this?
Well, the first thing he wanted to make abundantly clear is that this is all preliminary information. It's evident by the amount of activity going on behind us here in the investigation. But he wanted to say that all the information he has is only from his officers and witnesses. He has not seen the body cam video. That being said, is that officers got a call for a man who was drunk and drinking and being a nuisance here in the parking lot here at the Luxury Inn. They said when they got here, that man was gone, but the person who made that call was in the parking lot. He directed him up to that top room upstairs where officers are still at. You can see the flashlights flashing in there. When they knocked on the door, the first thing they saw, according to the police chief, was the barrel of the gun. That's what led them to open fire and shoot the suspect multiple times. Two officers hit that man in the torso. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The police chief tells us that the suspect is a 44-year-old man. They say he does have priors with the law, but he didn't go into details on what that criminal history looks like. He said the two officers who were involved in this shooting both have had 6 years with the department, and they will be placed on administrative duty. Still going to be a long night here. There's lots of investigation to be going forward. Like he said, he hasn't seen that body camera video yet. He said he'll try to make that available as soon as possible. What we know right now is a 44-year-old man is in the hospital in critical condition. Two officers are on administrative leave or administrative duty at the moment. Steve, Stephania.
John Paul Barajas live from location. Thank you, John. Of course, John Paul, of course, will continue to follow that situation. Right now, the chaos on Capitol Hill is continuing for a second day. A live look at our nation's capital where lawmakers decided to end today's series of votes without a new House Speaker. Each time California Republican Kevin McCarthy failing to get enough votes to take over the gavel of leadership.
I don't know really yet, but a lot of progress.
Does that mean no vote tonight?
I don't think voting tonight is productive. I think let people work a little more.
McCarthy failing in all 6 votes since yesterday. He's facing pushback from some Republicans, including Texas lawmaker Chip Roy. There are several discussions happening tonight, but it's unclear if those negotiations are centering around a deal on McCarthy or to choose a new nominee. Republicans hold a slim majority in the House, which is scheduled to reconvene tomorrow morning.
And, this really affects everyone because the holdup there means legislation is also on hold. Uvalde victims' families continue to push for federal gun reform. They're demanding changes. They want the U.S. to raise the age to buy assault-style weapons. Now, other victims are trying to heal as they return to class after Christmas break. But as the time moves forward, others are still struggling. Tonight, Team's Lee Waldman went back to Uvalde and spoke with one student who is struggling to come to terms with survivor's guilt.
From shooting hoops to throwing spirals, 10-year-old Daniel Ruiz is in many ways your average kid.
The Falcons won, and we were able to be on the field.
But there's pain he feels that's out of sight until he puts pen to paper.
I was thinking about her.
Thinking of his cousin Ellie Garcia, who died at Robb Elementary in a classroom not far from his own.
Says, I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry I let you die.
His mom, Brianna, says Daniel always looked out for Ellie.
We've all tried to reassure him, that there was absolutely nothing that he could have done.
Unfortunately, Daniel's survivor's guilt is not unique. Here at the Uvalde Together Resiliency Center, counselors are seeing more and more people feeling the same way. It's all too common after a mass shooting.
Survivor's guilt is truly when a person has feelings of guilt because they have survived a life-threatening situation, but others did not.
Fisk explains to combat these feelings, survivors should seek help, but helping others can be just as beneficial.
That goes a long way in making us feel that we're fulfilled.
Daniel has been doing that for his fellow survivors, creating a network of support. He says he'd like to see more of it coming from outside as well.
Try to help them, give them support, talk to them,
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
The goal is to fight crime. San Antonio police often use their helicopter to help with that. It's equipped with a spotlight and other technology on board. We were able to get a firsthand look at what's known as Eagle several years ago. Now, a lot of police departments don't have their own chopper, but they can still have an eye in the sky. Universal City Police taking their fight against crime to the air. Take a look at the bird's eye view from their new drone.
That's right. Now, this is part of the police department's pilot program. The Night Team's Patty Santos shows us how this tool is aimed at keeping you safe.
They go about 30 to about 40 miles an hour.
Universal City Police Officer Nicholas Guerrero is the pilot behind the department's first drone.
This one can actually go up to 5 miles away from me.
The agency launched the experimental program a few months ago.
I think it's adopted real well with today's generation of cops.
UCPD Chief Johnny Seaman says they've always been able to count on air support from other agencies, but the drone works well for quick deployments for his agency and neighboring cities.
Here just a week or so ago, we used it for a robbery suspect that had shot an individual and was fleeing from police.
This is a picture of that scene.
This drone costs the city a few $1,000s, but it can be used for public events and even to investigate crash sites.
It's also been used to search for missing people.
We are right here.
The heat signature camera means it can be used at night.
So it gives us different aircrafts that are within our area, but we just want to be on the safe side.
Because Joint Base San Antonio Randolph is so close, Guerrero has to be vigilant about how high he flies. He also stays in close contact with base authorities to get their okay.
I'm about 43 feet up in the air.
If it all works out well, the goal is to train other fellow officers to fly drones.
To where we could start assisting different agencies that don't have the drone program, or maybe we could help set a standard for other agencies as well.
And take a look. This is a look at the infrared video that we captured earlier today. Now, San Antonio Police has been using drones as part of their investigations and operations since 2019. At one point, they had 17 pilots. Steve, Stefania.
Patty, thank you. In other news now, there's a new twist in the fight over abortion, and it's actually coming from the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA finalized a rule change so that right now retail pharmacies can sell the drug known as mifepristone. The drug is the first of 2 drugs that women would take during a medical abortion. Under the new regulation, women would still need a prescription, but the drug would be more widely available. But keep in mind that in Texas, there are strict laws limiting drugs that induce abortion. CVS says that it's reviewing the rules that come into play with the change. Meanwhile, a local activist group is closer to changing a San Antonio charter regarding abortion. Now, we've followed the effort from the activist group Act for USA for months. It has more than 20,000 signatures to get its proposal on the May ballot. The proposal pushes the decriminalization of abortions and low-level amounts of marijuana. It also expands existing policies that ban no-knock warrants and chokeholds, and also encourages police to give people citations instead of arresting them for low-level nonviolent crimes. But the San Antonio Police Officers Association does not agree with those ideas.
A judge wants an ex-Bexar County constable turned felon to serve time behind bars. Michelle Barrientos Vela sentenced to 5 years probation, 90 days in jail, though her legal team is planning to appeal. Barrientos Vela convicted of tampering with records while she was a constable for the county. During sentencing, Judge Velia Mesa told the ex-constable she had no respect for the law while she was in uniform. She also pointed out Barrientos Vela had a loving family, but it was 2 of the ex-constable's sons who interrupted today's sentencing with an emotional outburst.
There's a 25
This is a day that is long in coming. It has been over 3 years. I know a lot of you have been following this case from the very beginning, and we saw today that justice was served.
I would not call this a victory. I'd call it a pretty bad loss for us in the sense that we believe in Michelle and we believe that she's not guilty.
It's important to note the jail sentence is suspended while Barrientos Vela appeals her convictions. The 5-year probation term, though, begins immediately.
Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. The tomb for Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI is being prepared at the Vatican crypt. Tomorrow, Pope Francis is going to preside over his funeral service. Today, San Antonio held a special mass in honor of the retired pontiff. Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Siller spoke and shared the story about the time that the Pope Emeritus gave him a wool vestment, which archbishops and cardinals wear around their shoulders. There's a renewed push now to bring casinos to 4 Texas cities, and that includes San Antonio. A lawmaker from Houston is hoping to get the measure on the floor during the upcoming legislative session. State Senator Carol Alvarado says the bill would require casinos to have hotels, shops, and restaurants, along with other licensing requirements. But Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, though, is against legalized gambling in Texas, so we'll have to wait and see. Nobody won the Mega Millions jackpot, but one San Antonio woman apparently found her own way to win thousands of dollars, and that strategy of hers got her into big trouble. Police say that 37-year-old Mayra Rios stole $50,000 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets from her workplace. The convenience store clerk is also accused of selling some of those stolen tickets. So tonight, SAPD is warning people that all lottery tickets can be tracked. So if you steal them, they're going to catch you. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Prayers, positivity, progress now being made in the case of Damar Hamlin, the pro football player who collapsed on the field Monday night. His GoFundMe page raised more than $6 million so far. Our Greg Simmons tracking more good news surrounding the critically injured athlete. That story's still ahead. Plus, President Joe Biden and the border, the plans set for tomorrow and next week amid a summit with Mexico's president.
And one San Antonio woman is sounding the alarm after she was fined for her security system, the process that she failed to finish, and how you could learn what happened to her. We'll discuss it. It's next on the Nightbeat. A San Antonio homeowner is out $200, all thanks to a city permit that she says she didn't even know she needed. You see, she has a house alarm, but she didn't have the permit that the city requires all home and business alarms to also have. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas explains what you need to know to avoid a potential fine.
No, it's okay.
A call for help or a potential waste of resources. Gail Wagner says her alarm system is proving costly because she didn't have a permit from the city.
I think that's quite a lot, especially when you don't know about something. It's a lot, especially like I said, right here at Christmas, it's a lot of money that, you don't just always have.
Wagner's now out the $40 yearly permit cost and 2 fines for false alarms. Each incident costs $75, but that price is even higher for businesses.
Had no clue that we had to tell the city.
Longtime homeowner Jeffrey Harris says he's just now hearing about the city code required permits because of his neighbor Wagner.
$40 a year. Not fun, but much more reasonable.
The city's alarm permits allows for 3 false alarms for residents and businesses with fines for each additional call after that. Nick Solis with San Antonio Police asks that home and business owners be proactive.
It starts when you buy your alarm. It starts at the beginning. I guess we could all do a better job of getting that word out there. Ask questions right away from your, even now, if you see this story right now, go back to your contract, call your security company and ask.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And more evidence of problems with our current immigration system. Many asylum seekers fleeing violence or political turmoil in their home countries and most recently walking into El Paso. Now there's also another growing number of migrants making their way by boat onto the Florida Keys. Since this weekend, more than 500 Cuban migrants arrived on shore, all of them fleeing the communist island. This isn't something new, but the recent rise in people fleeing to Florida, something worth noting as the battle over Title 42 continues. The measure allows migrants to be turned away, but the health provision isn't used in every single instance. President Joe Biden, by the way, says he will give a speech on border security tomorrow. Then he intends to visit the U.S.-Mexico border next week. He made the announcement today during a trip to Kentucky. The visit would coincide with the meeting in Mexico City next week. That summit in Mexico would include the United States, Canada, and Mexico's president on Monday and Tuesday. President Biden says details on his border visit are still being worked out. We're still not sure where it's going to happen or when. Vice President Kamala Harris visited El Paso in June of 2021, but was criticized for choosing a location that was not experiencing a high number of crossings at the time. She's been in charge of working with Central American nations to help address the dangers and social issues that force people to flee north.
Now back here at home, we want to give you a live look outside right now. This is the Door of Equality. It's right by the San Pedro roundabout, right by Baptist Hospital. Just all nice and lit up for you right now. 53 degrees out there right now. But Adam, we're talking about a temperature swing.
Yeah, big temperature swing again tomorrow. So the key is dress in layers. We'll have a cool morning and then a comfortably warm afternoon. Morning temperatures around San Antonio about 43 degrees. So dropping another 10 degrees from where we are now. But you get into the hill country and we'll have some readings in the mid to upper 30s early tomorrow. Then by the afternoon, kind of like today, we get well into the 70s, a good portion of us in the mid to even upper 70s. So we're looking at a 30 to 35 degree temperature swing from the morning to the afternoon. So yeah, sweatshirt early, but by noon it's going to be 70 degrees and you can peel off that sweatshirt. All right, let's talk rain chances, and really not even a shot until we get into this weekend, and especially Saturday night. That's when a weak cold front moves in. I do want to point out during the day Saturday, especially Saturday morning, it's going to be very damp and drizzly, and just everything's going to be soaked a bit from the thick drizzle and fog and reduced visibility, but not much to show for it. The nuisance moisture to start your weekend. Next chance of real showers. This is about a 40% chance Saturday night. And what we're watching is this big wound up low pressure system. This is a whopper, a humdinger of a low that's coming on shore and battering parts of the west coast, especially big atmospheric river, that plume of moisture being funneled in. In fact, the hurricane hunters are going to be flying into this to take measurements, so we learn more about these atmospheric rivers. But that big wound up system, that's going to be tracking eastward, fall apart a little bit. Some of its energy will peel off and head our way, and we'll also get a little burst of energy coming in off the Pacific, and that'll help develop a new surface low and basically a cold front to give us that chance of rain Saturday night. Nothing to get too excited about. Here's our future cast. A gray start to Saturday. I want to stress damp. If you wake up for a morning bike ride or jog, ground's going to be wet and visibility is going to be reduced. And then into the evening and nighttime hours, some showers and thunderstorms likely to pop up, but odds are now favoring locations east of I-35. I still think we could see some along I-35, but the more meaningful rain would most likely be closer to the Gulf coastline. Either way, at least there's a shot, because that's our only chance and only hope for any rainfall. Temperature-wise, those highs in the 70s. And other than that 62 Saturday morning, we'll have these crisp January mornings on the way.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right, Greg, I think the Spurs' inexperience was very evident today.
Yeah, because they played a better game, even though it got off to another slow start, but it's trying to close out this game is where they ran into some big problems. When we come back, bad run in the Big Apple concluded tonight with a loss to the Knicks. We'll show you how that happened. And the Aggies have a new offensive coordinator coming up. Looking to rebound from their blowout loss to the Nets down the street in Brooklyn by visiting the Knicks tonight in New York's Madison Square Garden, but once again got off to a very slow start while the Knicks' Jalen Brunson did not. He torched the Spurs for 13 points in the first quarter, jumping out to a 10-2 lead to force Pop to call a timeout. Josh Richardson was able to shoot the Spurs back into this game with 6 early points, but Brunson puts the Knicks ahead by 10 at the end of 1. Now in the second quarter, the Spurs fight back. Josh Richardson with a follow jam, and the Spurs take their first lead of the game on Stanley Johnson's basket. This is part of an 11-0 run to start the Spurs up here at 42-41. Spurs had to fight back again as Josh Richardson hit 2 big three-pointers. The second ties the game at 55-all, but the Spurs trail at the break 62-55. Keldon Johnson doing his best to keep the Spurs in this game off a Knicks turnover. Keldon weaving his way to the hoop for the bucket and the foul. Then the catch-and-shoot three from the wing. Keldon with a dozen points in the third to keep the Spurs within 5 going into the fourth. With a little over 3 minutes to go, Johnson nails a jumper in the lane. The Spurs take a 1-point lead, but the Knicks come back to take a 3-point edge with 3.5 seconds to go. Spurs on the inbound, but can't get a shot off in time. Spurs fall 117-114. Keldon Johnson led the Spurs at 26. After the game, Coach Pop was asked about the team's inexperience of closing out a game.
It takes some to understand that
the physicality of the game, especially at the end of a game, and how difficult it is to get open and how to set yourself up. It seems like a basic or something easy, but it's not.
All right, Spurs coming back home to host Detroit on Friday at 7 o'clock.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Finally, some good news when it comes to the health of Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, who collapsed on the field during Monday Night Football after suffering a cardiac arrest. The team tells us today Hamlin is showing signs of improvement. He is still in critical condition at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where he is in intensive care unit after learning he had to be resuscitated twice, once on the field after he tackled T. Higgins and took a helmet to the chest, and again at the hospital. For the first time since a chilling incident unfolded on live television today, Bengals head coach Zach Taylor praised Bills head coach Sean McDermott in that moment.
When I got over there, the first thing he said was, I need to be at the hospital tomorrow, and I shouldn't be coaching this game. And so that, to me, provides all the clarity, because there was no unprecedented is the word that gets thrown out a lot about this situation, because that's what it is. But in that moment, he really showed who he was, that all his focus was just on Damar and being there for him, being there for his family at the hospital. And at that point, I think everything trended in the direction it needed to trend, and the right decisions were made there.
All right, there's still no decision on what will become of the suspended game, even though the NFL tells us talks are ongoing. The Dallas Cowboys return to work today to prepare for their final week of the regular season, with still a chance to not only win the NFC East, but also the top seed in the NFC as well, with the Eagles and the 49ers going at it. How crazy does that sound with just one game left before the playoffs kick off? With the success of T.Y. Hilton, the Cowboys released receiver James Washington today was only able to play in 2 games after he's injured in training camp.
I actually feel bad for about James's opportunity here, and I think just timing of injury was a big part of it. We had the injury there in the spring, and then another injury there, first day of practice in Oxnard. But yeah, and I think just like a lot of these moves, when you get down to it, special teams plays a big part in these decisions.
Fight Texas Aggies will hire Bobby Petrino as their new offensive coordinator and take over play calling duties from head coach Jimbo Fisher following the Maroon and White's disappointing 5-7 finish last season. Now, that's according to ESPN that reports the Aggies are finalizing the deal before they go public with Petrino, whose name came up about a month ago. Petrino's hiring does come with some controversy, since his run as a head coach of Arkansas in 2012 came to a crashing halt when a motorcycle accident exposed an affair he was having with a member of the football staff. The San Antonio Sports High School All-Star Football Game workouts next. The San Antonio Sports High School Football All-Star Game presented by HEB happens this Saturday in the Alamo Dome at 5 p.m. immediately following the All-American Bowl, which features the top high school football athletes from around the country. The black team is coached by Brennan Stephen Bezier, who is holding his workouts at Brandeis High School to prepare for the gold team, which is coached by Steele High School's David Sines, worked out today at Steele, as if these two coaches haven't seen enough of each other this past season, beginning with the KSAT Pigskin Classic back in August.
I'm just glad we didn't meet in the playoffs, because that would have meant we'd play 4 times in a year, and that turned out with the Lake Travis deal. So now we'll only play against each other 3, including this game. So 3's better than 4, because we'll probably get tired of seeing each other maybe after this one. But I think we'll start off next season against them as well. So that'll be number 3.
It's like our staff, we talk about it in our staff meeting, and it's just an honor to be asked to coach in this game. And anytime you get a chance to coach some of the best athletes in San Antonio, that's always a positive.
Yeah, looking forward to that game. The game that precedes it all happens in the Dome, and you can get in with 1 ticket price as well. See them both.
Heck, I'm looking forward to next year's Pigskin Classic.
Me too already.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
Or this year's, later on this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. We'll be right back after this. So we all know the new year often brings in resolutions. Many of them involve working out. Well, check out that jaguar exercising at the San Antonio Zoo. You're about to see it. Yeah, that's Frida, the jaguar. And as you can see, she really likes to show off her acrobatic skills. It's just one of the many videos the San Antonio Zoo is sharing on its social media pages.
Frida is very talented.
Yes. Oh, that's it? I thought we were going to go to Adam for weather.
No. Just Frida hanging in there.
Cool in the morning.
Cool in the morning, Adam.
Cool in the morning. Good night.